My brother's face was pale when they wheeled him into the ER. Machines screamed for him where his own voice had gone silent. His daughter, my niece, stood at the edge of the hallway. She hadn't spoken more than 2 sentences to me in a year. She always kept her head down, her words swallowed by some private war I couldn't name. But tonight she stepped forward. Her hands trembled, though her eyes were steady. "Dad told me to give this to you if something happened." A folded envelope, small, worn, like it had been carried in her pocket for months. I took it. The paper felt heavier than it should have. My chest tightened, but my face remained calm. "Thank you," I said. She nodded, then walked away, as if she had just unshackled herself from something unbearable. I stood alone in that sterile hallway, the envelope burning in my palm. I didn't open it immediately. Fear has a way of slowing the hands. When I did, the world shifted. Not loudly, not suddenly, quietly, like the floor giving way beneath you while you're still standing. The letter was in my brother's handwriting. I recognized the slope, the slant, the jagged pressure of his pen. He began with apologies, too many, too desperate. Then, the confession. He wrote of secrets I had never considered, of betrayals buried in the spaces between family dinners and late-night phone calls. He wrote about my wife. The words blurred at first, but I forced myself to read them again and again. He had been with her for years. Not once, not a mistake, a pattern. A double life lived in the shadows of mine. And then the line that carved through me like a blade. "The child she carries might not be yours." My throat closed. My mind rebelled, searching for a loophole, a reason, anything but truth. But my brother didn't lie. Not about this. He was meticulous, ruthless with honesty when it mattered most. The envelope had photographs too. My wife and him. Hotels, cars, private smiles never meant for me. I felt nothing on the surface. Only inside, a storm. And I smiled at the nurse who passed me in the hallway, as if nothing had happened. I carried the letter home like a weapon no one else could see. My wife greeted me at the door, her voice warm, her touch familiar. I kissed her cheek. I pretended. That night, I began my quiet investigation. Phone records, bank statements, a strand of hair, pulled gently from her brush. My son's toothbrush, sealed in a plastic bag. DNA tests, digital trails, shadows of the life I had been blind to. On the surface, I was calm. At work, I was efficient. At home, I was kind. No raised voices, no suspicions revealed. But every night, when the house went still, I poured through details like a surgeon dissecting flesh, slowly, methodically. The test results came back in envelopes of their own. I opened them alone, in silence. Each one peeled away the illusion I had been living in, and with every piece of proof, the storm inside me grew sharper, colder. She never noticed. That was the cruel part. She thought she still lived in the comfort of her lie. The DNA test confirmed it. My son wasn't mine. The final tether of doubt snapped. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I simply folded the report, placed it in my jacket, and waited. That evening, while she poured wine at the table, I slid the report across the wood. No words, just the paper. She frowned, unfolded it, read. Her hand shook, her face drained. She tried. I cut her off with silence. My eyes stayed on hers, cold, unblinking. She broke before me. Tears, pleas, excuses tangled in breathless gasps. I listened to none of it. I leaned back in my chair, calm, detached. "I knew before you did," I said. Her breath caught. Confusion flashed. "I ran the test before you even suspected I might. Every smile, every kiss you gave me this past month, I let you think you were safe. I let you believe your secret was intact." Her mouth opened, but nothing came. I stood, walked past her, and placed my hand briefly on her shoulder, a gesture she once would have read as love. Now it was a verdict. You destroyed everything, and I let you. I left her there, broken against the weight of her own betrayal. The house was silent when I packed my things. No confrontation, no goodbye. My son, no, her son, slept peacefully. He would never know the truth from me. Innocence should not be another casualty of betrayal. I drove away in the dark, the letter from my brother folded neatly in my pocket. His guilt had poisoned me, but it also freed me. Some truths don't wound, they cauterize. When I looked in the mirror at a gas station hours later, I didn't see grief. I saw clarity. And I whispered to my reflection, steady and final, you can't betray a man who no longer belongs to you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.